This is the Inside Data Center podcast. We talk to the people who power the data center sector to give you insider info on everything happening in DC today. Here's your host, Andy Davis.
Welcome to the Inside Data Center podcast. Today I'm joined by Paige, Reeves and Jessica Lang from Datacloud. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Andy.
Hi.
Thanks for coming on. I was trying to work out earlier, around 5 weeks, I believe, as we record this, until Datacloud's Global Congress in Cannes. So it's in the crunch time for you. So I appreciate you coming on to obviously share a bit of an insight into the event. Before we do that, do you both want to give a quick introduction into who you are and what your role is within the Datacloud group? Jessica, should we start with you?
Absolutely. Hi, I'm Jessica Lang, Jess Lang, as everyone refers to me. I'm one of the commercial lead for the Datacloud event series, focusing on Cannes as well as all of our global events that's taking part. Work with all our fantastic clients and leading the brand, I suppose.
Keeps you busy. And Paige?
Yeah, keeps me busy. Over to you, Paige.
Yeah, I'm Paige Reeves. I'm a product manager for the Datacloud series. So my focus is content. So working with our leadership committee on our content for primarily Global Congress, but also some of our other regional events as well. So if anyone wants to speak at the event, then they have to get through me first.
You're the test.
She is indeed.
It seems crazy that it's a year nearly since the first event in Cannes, which is what I was thinking about earlier before we recorded this. So as we come up to Global Congress 2025, you've got, I suppose, you understand the venue and the location a bit better than you probably did last year. And Jess, you were just saying you're out there again tomorrow to do another recce. But what can we expect from Datacloud Global Congress 2025?
Yeah, so it's not only nearly a year from our move to Cannes, but it's actually 20 years of Datacloud Global Congress this year. So we'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary. In the run-up to the event, actually, we've been conducting some interviews with past speakers and attendees who maybe have not been attending for 20 years, but at least 10, 15. And it's been really interesting to hear how much the event has changed, especially as someone who hasn't been attending the event that long myself. Obviously not just the event, but also the industry looks completely different, even to like 5 years ago. So on site, we're going to have some cool 20th anniversary photo opportunities that people can look out for. And we hope to see those going around on LinkedIn. We were also going to have a special award for the best in-show stand. So we're hoping that's a little bit of friendly competition for all of our exhibitors. So that will be opening on day 2. So while you're walking around the expo on day 1 and you're doing all your networking, take a look, choose which one your favorite stand is, and then we'll have a vote on day 2.
And touching on that as well, what Paige mentioned with regards to, and Andy, what you mentioned, I'm going to be on site in Cannes tomorrow. As you know, this is going to be our 2nd year in Cannes, which was a fantastic move, and all of our loyal delegates, I'm glad it went down well with them. I think everyone can appreciate how difficult it is to move such a mammoth event to a new location. So there was always going to be some teething issues, but all of our lovely clients, our delegates have given amazing feedback. So as a team, one of our first job was to knuckle down and figure out how we can mitigate these issues that happened last year, which was mainly around the registration. So what I want to make sure and everyone aware that we are opening our registration a lot earlier. So at 11 a.m. on the Tuesday, you can come in whether you're a sponsor or a delegate and collect your badge. We've also introduced a VIP badge collection, a dedicated VIP badge collection line for our gold level sponsors and above, as well as our VIP speakers. The event is definitely reflecting what's happening in the event industry. We've doubled the number of sponsors and exhibitors, so as a team we're very incredibly proud of that. There are a number of new things that are happening at the event. We're going to have some digital art, the data center centric art display at the event as well. We're also bringing back Digital Infra Leadership Summit, which is the 7th edition. which is an invitation-only workshop, which takes place on the Tuesday, where we bring CXOs from the data center industry on site with select hyperscalers and have a highly interactive conversation on the Chatham House rules. So we're super excited for that. There's a great attendee list, as well as the Talent in Tech, which we can go into a little bit more details later on, and the Datacloud Global Awards to look forward to wrap up the event.
A lot happening.
A lot happening indeed.
And I think I agree with you as well. I think events are a great way to gauge the industry as a whole. Like the growth of the events scene is crazy, and like individual events like yours, when it's like Datacloud Global Congress, when you go once a year, you do see that growth. You kind of notice it because it's 12 months since you last attended. And I think, like you're saying, more exhibitors, more attendees, more sponsors. It's just an example of how this industry is on that transitional journey from, from where it was 20 years ago when you started, which I'm sure there must be someone out there that's been to all 20 as well, and I'd love to speak.
I think there is. So we're doing some exciting interviews and articles you'll see, and there are a handful of individuals who are still around, and luckily, we're in really good communication and in touch with them. So there's some exciting articles coming through around that. As you said, in the industry, it's a great way to gauge. And for us, being behind the scene, working with the entire ecosystem, Paige and I are quite privileged to work with varied, not just the operators, the SMEs, or all the providers in the industry, and get their feedback. And it's positive, it's demanding, and there are still a lot of work to do. But I feel like as a platform, this is the one that you can really gauge what's happening. Yeah.
Exciting times and content. I always talk to you, Paige, about this one. I know, and it's impossible to keep up with this industry, and I think you do an amazing job at it. But it is really, really difficult to ensure that content is as relevant as it can be when you're planning an event over the course of 12 plus months, and then everything changes on that journey. So, what are the key content pillars this year? What can we expect from some of the discussions?
Yeah, so I think certainly for my job in particular, what makes this event really exciting is how important the content is. Now, obviously, we do have lots of other stuff going on at the event and our great expo, but last year our content was really, really well attended. So bearing that in mind, we've actually doubled the size of our keynote theatre and also our innovation theatre, which we build on the expo floor. So I know that was another feedback, that our keynote sessions were packed and it was standing room only. So there'll be more space for people to attend the sessions. So we have, so over the 2 days, we have 3 full tracks of content. So we've got our keynote theatre, our innovation theatre, and then we have another track, which is called Datacloud Engage. And that hosts panels and also workshops. So we run a number of sponsor or association-led workshops. You can check these out when you go on the app or on the website. And some of them are invite only, others you'll be able to kind of apply to attend. So make sure that everyone checks that out. Content and theme-wise, I'd say power is really big this year. So I think we spoke about that a bit last year, but it feels like power is probably as important as AI. Of course, we're not going to run an event and not talk about AI, but I think the theme for AI really is kind of 12 months on. So last year, we obviously had keynotes and panels where everyone was talking about it, but it felt a bit crystal ball, let's look into the future, where now I think the focus is 12 months on, what are we doing? And then kind of linked to that, construction, planning and design. So as people are building these large AI gigawatt data centers, what does that look like from a planning perspective, and then also design and construction? What are you putting in your data center to actually be able to run it? So they're the kind of biggest themes for this year.
Yeah, power is the one that everyone's talking about at the moment. I agree. I think AI is a difficult one, isn't it? 'Cause it's so all-encompassing. It's kind of everything filters into it. Like you can't discuss AI as a broad topic, but all the different elements, the aspects.
And everyone always wants to talk about it as well.
Exactly. It's an acronym. We love an acronym. And speaker-wise, I know that one thing that's great about Global Congress is you bring in speakers from all over the world, which I think is being in Europe. I'm obviously based in the UK. I travel a lot in Europe, but don't always get to hear from the speakers from the US and APAC and alike. So any particular speakers you've got your eye on this year that we should look out for?
Yeah, so I think in general, obviously our keynote panels and interviews tend to be the big ones. So some speakers we've got across those sessions are Val Walsh from Microsoft. We've got Chris Sharp, the CTO of Digital Realty, Doug Adams, CEO and President of NTT Global Data Centers. On day 2, we have a keynote interview with Dan Madrigal, VP Cloud of AI Sourcing at Oracle, and then a presentation from Lex Kors on his new book, The Seventh Wave, We Are AI. So it's a bit of an exclusive from Lex, which we're very excited about. And then across the full agenda, we've got C-suite representatives from most of the major data center operators. So we've got like Equinix, Vertus, QTS, CyrusOne, and then also some of the large enterprise as well. So we've got speakers from Uber and Salesforce and Bloomberg speaking across the 2 days. So I'd like to encourage everyone to make sure that they don't just go to the keynotes, they also go to some of the other sessions, because it's really like the sessions are really, really strong this year. And I think, we were talking about kind of the response from the industry. One of the things I've noticed in particular is so many people have wanted to speak. It's a really full agenda this year, and that is kind of reflecting how much people are wanting to kind of get out and actually take part in these panel discussions. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Does the event look a little different this year, Jess? And if you've got more sponsors, more exhibitors?
Yeah, I guess you could say that the event has definitely grown, especially comparing it to we have a lot of people who still are a fan of Monaco. From comparing to that to where it's definitely have grown. But one of the things that we always try and make sure, and that we're proud of as well, the event is still very much attracts the C-suite, over 65%, I would say even 70% of the delegates that we had registered so far are from that high level of representation, which is fantastic. So although the event has grown and there's going to be a number of new features in display, like Paige mentioned, there's going to be the Datacloud Engage workshop room, which a lot of the data center associations now taking part as well, and a couple of fantastic new additions like from the podcast that we're going to be doing there. Andy, you're going to have a lovely spot in the on the terrace overlooking the Met there. So there's lots of new additions. So the event has grown in that sense, and it has a different feel to it, but we're still protecting the original Datacloud Global Congress offering. So all the feedback has been positive so far. So we're super excited to be on site. Like Schneider Electric's got some exciting branding activations that's happening on site. We have the lovely Mercury team bringing the Rosé wine bar downstairs again. We have TSL sponsoring the Datacloud welcome reception on Tuesday. So make sure everyone comes to that. There's plenty of beverages and some 20th anniversary treats available, and Legrand's doing the welcome drinks reception on day 1. So it's, as you know, Andy, I don't have to repeat, this is one of those events that it's content, it's networking, it's where you meet people and where the decisions, one of those important conversations take place. So hopefully we can deliver that again in 2025.
Yeah, I've no doubt you will. And I think the increase in numbers, obviously there's an increase in executives in this industry. There's an increase in companies in this industry. Companies have grown significantly, which means you need more senior level individuals as well. So again, the growth's reflective in, it's not like you say, it's not that the attendees are changing. It's more just there's more of them now.
That's exactly that. And to your point earlier, it is now turning into a global platform. We have the likes of the Middle Eastern operators taking part actively and sending their CVs. The PIF, there's a lot of different investment funds, companies that attending as well as we have the likes of PDG representing APAC. So it is truly a global platform, but reiterating a point, a lot of C-suites from those platforms are coming from this region's attending as well.
Yeah, definitely. And one point I always like to cover now when I'm talking to events is to give your tips, your top tips for people attending. And I thought of one earlier, Paige, plan. That's my top tip for anyone. That's when you were saying like try and attend the talks. Oh, like it's so difficult. So I always have to plan what talks I want to go to so that I know 100% that time is my time. So I'm going to go, because otherwise it's easy to get distracted at these events. So what would your top tip be for anyone, whether they're attending for the first time or attending for the 20th time?
Our main tip is to download the Tocorico networking app. So that's the new app for this year. Tocorico that owns Datacloud. So we're a collection of different brands, others you might have heard of, ITW, Capacity. So it's the Tocorico networking app. If you attend lots of our events, it's one app, and then all of your events that you attend go into the same app every time. And it is the must-have to navigate the event. So in talking about planning, you can view the agenda, you can create your own personalized schedule, and then you'll get notifications of when those sessions are starting. You can book your meetings, you can see all of our attendees. There's a scan to connect function. So when you're chatting with someone, you can scan their badge, and then it will create a list of everyone that you've met at the event. And there's also an interactive floor plan. So obviously I know a lot of people last year attending CAN for the first time were maybe struggling to find where things are. We have addressed that with signage, but also there's kind of wayfinding. So you can say, I'm here, I want to get here, and the interactive floor plan will guide you to where you're trying to go, whether that's if you're trying to find a session or if you're trying to find a meeting. So the app's probably the number one thing that you need.
Absolutely. Reiterating that point, and it has a GPS timing as well, so no one can be late for a meeting now. So we've tried to mitigate that.
I don't know if I want that though. This
is it. I know you can't hide behind. Oh, is it 5 minutes? Is it 10 minutes? No, you have actual timing.
Yeah, and if we can, we'll put. I'm sure we can do this. We'll put the link for the app in the show notes.
Absolutely, it'll be great. And everyone who's registered will have access to that app. And do look out, because these things end up in people's spam folder. But it's the most important tool, I'd suggest. And also from a networking perspective as well, right? Sometimes you collect business cards. It's 3-4 days of jam packed, and having it all digitally. And at the end of the event, you'll be able to export it into Excel format as well. So it's a great and handy tool to have. So if we can share that link, we'll try and do that on here as well. That'll be great.
Yeah, definitely. And ticket wise, I know that your record attendance this year, I believe, but if anyone's out there still wants to register, where's the best place to register for tickets?
So you can go to our website and get them directly through there, or I believe, Andy, in your newsletter, there's
Andy's newsletter, there is a link. Absolutely.
Which everyone should be registered for. So if you're registered for Andy's newsletter, then you've got a link and a special code as well. So they're probably the best places to find the link to register.
Yeah, and again, we'll put that in the show notes to direct anyone. But if you can't find it, just drop me a message and I'll point you in the right direction. And before I let you go and carry on with planning this momentous event, 20 years, what's next for Datacloud? I know you've always got a lot happening. So what's next that you can tell us? It's probably something you can't, but what can you tell us?
Yeah, the calendar is busy. So next we are going to be in the US. So it's our flagship Datacloud USA. That is in Austin, Texas, September 16th and 17th. It was an amazing event last year, and this year we've actually decided to join forces with one of our sister brands, Metro Connect. So it's Datacloud USA and Metro Connect Fall. And the reason for that is the data center industry with the fiber industry, which in the US is really important. So it's kind of the classic Datacloud event that you would expect with all of the operators and all of the hyperscalers, but also bringing the fiber and kind of finance people as well. So that's our next big one. And then Jess, I'll let you go through the calendar.
Of course, I'll keep it brief. We are covering global are trying to offer a global platform here. One of the best things about working for the Decorico brand is we cover the entire digital ecosystem. We work with, our sister company is ITW, International Telecom Week, which is taking place next week in Washington. We also have capacity events. So we join forces, and by doing this, it gives us and our delegates, not just, it's a one-stop shop essentially. So for us, we're very excited to go back to Nairobi in September, which is ITW and Datacloud Africa, which is bringing the entire, that region, again, something to look out for, somewhere to look out for as well. There's a lot of interest, and we're bringing the entire digital ecosystem, not just the data centers, cloud hyperscalers, we're bringing the carrier, the fiber connectivity piece as well. So that's taking place in September. Following that, we will be in ITW and Datacloud Asia, Singapore, connecting again, similar to what we do in Nairobi, bringing the entire ecosystem together in December in Singapore. Then we'll be returning to a bit of heat to Dubai, cover Datacloud and Capacity Middle East, which will be at the Grand Hyatt again. Again, that's a fantastic event, over 3,000 delegates from across the MENA region digital ecosystem, and that area, no doubt, and you don't need to reiterate this, but that is a region to look out for. So we're as the event series, we're hoping that we are providing the right platform across globally, and again, very excited to saying excited a lot here, because I am truly am for our energy and ESG. The second edition will be coming back to Brussels in March, and that will be discussing that all key messaging, which is power and what we're doing as industry, and bringing that community together to discuss power in more of a granular level.
There's one thing this
keeping us
industry
busy.
It's exciting. So you're right. Well, I think you do a great job. I think that, and obviously you've got events all over the world, which again demonstrates where this industry is going and how it's changed, and the new locations that have been added since what was the first event 20 years ago. I'm sure that's a story in itself that we could talk about on a podcast, no doubt. But you're very busy, so I'm going to let you go. Jess, you've got to probably pack for your couple of days in Cannes.
Yeah, again, looking forward to going to Cannes and to seeing the venue, which is going to be completely different in a few weeks' time. As I said, really exciting changes that are going to take place. But overall, logistically, we've kept everything the same. So hopefully our delegates will see all the hard work we put in and all the feedback, and really excited to bring the community back together in Cannes.
Definitely. And Paige, you've probably got to look at the agenda and see what massive news has happened to try and squeeze that in the next 3-4 weeks.
Yes, it's all prep now. So obviously we do a lot of prep on all the panels and connecting all the speakers together before, and making sure that all everyone's registered for the event. So my life is just admin for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, well, I look forward to having a drink with you on the terrace in Cannes in 4-ish weeks when this gets released. Thanks both. I'm going to let you go now. You're very busy. I will see you. If I don't see you, I'll see you in Cannes, but I might see you before. But thanks for your time. Well done on what you've done so far, and good luck with the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Super. Thanks, Andy. Great to speak.
Thanks for having us.